emotional about the hounding of the press and the paparazzi and how they were making her life miserable. So I think I did my job.
Matt Lauer was America's most trusted morning anchor, making $25 million a year at NBC's Today Show. But off-camera was a dark secret that would shatter it all. In November of 2017, one complaint altered his life forever. Within 24 hours, he was let go and prohibited from NBC. Then the bombshell news broke. A hidden button beneath his desk. Dozens of victims and claims dating back decades. The man who woke up millions of Americans would never work again. Today, we're revealing what really happened and how he's living now. Matt Lauer was born on December 30th, 1957, right in the heart of New York City. His background was far from ordinary. His father, J. Robert Lauer, worked as an executive at a bicycle company and came from Romanian Jewish roots. His mother, Marilyn Colmer, was a model and had her own boutique. Matt grew up living between two vastly different worlds. One was informed by immigrant work ethic and values. The other was one of image, style, and public visibility. Those early experiences lingered. They made him a chameleon, refined, and sensitive to how the world perceives you. Key skills for one who would one day address millions on live TV. Matt was not the first member of his family to enter the limelight. His grandfather, Art Gentry, had been a professional vocalist. He wasn't famous, but he sang during the golden years of music, and young Matt was frequently in attendance to watch. Watching his grandfather fill a stage left an indelible impression. It wasn't all entertainment. It was on how to appeal to an audience. Matt soaked it all in. He was taught how to move, how to remain calm, and how to speak to win people over. These were lessons learned years before journalism class and would become the hallmark of his on-camera demeanor. Matt attended Ohio University in the late 1970s. He majored in communications and was graduating on schedule. But in 1979, at 21, he took a risk. He quit 4 credits shy of completing his degree. He did not stick around for a diploma. He needed true experience, and he attained it. His entry-level job was working as a news producer at Walk in Huntington, West Virginia. It was not high class, but it was the beginning. And Matt was not merely clock-watching. He worked diligently, learned quickly, and proved himself useful. Before a year was out, he was on camera reporting and had even secured his own talk show segment. That initial promotion to on-air reporter in 1980 at the age of 22 indicated how rapidly he was progressing. It was not common for anyone so young, particularly without a degree. But Matt was not typical. He dove into the deep end, both anchoring the 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. broadcasts in a mid-sized market. These are not fluff pieces. It was breaking news on the fly. Matt's professional demeanor, even as a rookie, began making heads turn. He didn't want a TV job. He wanted to be a TV master. Between 1980 and 1986, Matt co-anchored PM Magazine in 3 cities. First Richmond, then Providence, and finally New York City. It was not common for a host to move markets like that, and especially so successfully every time. PM Magazine was a high-energy blend of local coverage, celebrity pieces, and lifestyle material. It wasn't easy to execute, particularly in a different tone per market. But Matt did. He adapted, figured out what each group of viewers needed, and polished himself with each step. His stint on the New York version of the show provided him with exposure in the nation's largest media market. It was a tremendous leap forward. In 1986, Matt received his first genuine opportunity on national television. ABC premiered a show entitled Fame, Fortune, and Romance, which was a spin-off of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. He co-hosted it with Robin Leach, known for his dramatic voice and tours of celebrity mansions. The show was flashy and indulgent, showing off yachts, private jets, and the lives of billionaires. It didn't last long, less than a year, but it put Matt in front of viewers across the country. He wasn't just a regional name anymore. He was starting to break through. By the late 1980s, Matt was doing what nearly no one else was able to do. He was working in several cities simultaneously. From 1987 to 1989, he worked on local hosting assignments in Philadelphia and Boston while also serving on staff at ESPN and HBO. He'd cover sports, such as the Stanley Cup Finals for ESPN and entertainment pieces for HBO. It came at the price of long days, endless travel, and hardly any sleep. Industry people saw he was everywhere. They even teased him about living at the airport. But it paid off. He earned a rep as someone who could do everything. News, sports, entertainment, and do it well. Matt Lauer's stint on 9 Broadcast Plaza from 1989 to 1991 wasn't merely another local news gig. The show was broadcast live 3 hours a day on WWTV in New York. And before too long, things began to get weird. Producers began bringing on more outrageous and provocative guests, trying to capitalize on early 9's shock TV culture. Lauer didn't approve. He frequently fought with the producers and even walked off a live read for a Dial mattress company, unusual for an artist still making a name for himself. His stint there came to a sudden end, and when he left, hosts like Weird Al Yankovic and Howard Stern hosted it briefly. That same show eventually turned into The Richard Bey Show, which became notorious for such things as lie detector tests and Miss Big, but beauty pageants. It jumped the tracks, but Lauer had already quit. By 1992, he was nearly broke. He didn't have a steady TV gig and was near to bouncing a rent check. Then WNBC TV threw him a lifeline. He was brought in to co-anchor Today in New York with Jane Hansen. The show broadcast early in the morning, but it was all it took to stand him back up. A year later, he was elevated to co-anchor live at 5, one of the station's best evening time slots. He anchored both shows for a time, occasionally appearing on 3 different NBC shows within one day. The late hours had paid off. He had earned a reputation of being smooth, reliable, and unexpectedly warm for a newscaster. His vitality was something to notice. He added a human element to rigid formats and made contacts with NBC executives. It got him noticed nationally during those WNBC early years. From 1992 through 1997, Lauer was the go-to guy NBC would call whenever it needed something. He substituted for Weekend Today, NBC News at sunrise, and even NBC Nightly News when Tom Brokaw was off. His work schedule was grueling. He'd be weather at dawn one time, midday news during lunch, and prime news at night. It did not matter. He continued to show up and perform well. Within NBC, he became a byword for dependability. Folks saw his knack for slipping into any assignment without hesitation. He was not flashy, but he was versatile and consistent. Those years forged trust with top brass. That trust culminated in a watershed moment in January 1994 when he was appointed full-time news anchor on the Today Show. From there, his ascendancy was quick and consistent. Despite his increasing popularity, there was something Lauer had not completed: his college degree. He had dropped out of Ohio University nearly 20 years before for credit shy. In 1997, at age 39, he returned. The president of the university invited him to not only complete his degree, but to deliver the commencement address. Instead of taking traditional classes, Lauer wrote a paper about how his television career related to what he had studied. That summer, he walked across the stage with the class of 1997, nearly 2 decades after his peers. For him, it wasn't just symbolic, it was something personal. He later said that moment gave him more pride than many of his career achievements. 2 years after that, in 1999, Ohio University Alumni Association honored him with a Medal of Merit for his efforts and the encouragement he provided to other late finishers. The account of Matt Lauer at NBC started on June 13, 1994, when he officially took on the position of news anchor for the Today Show. The show was not doing well at the time, losing their viewers to Good Morning America. NBC required a change, and Lauer's arrival was just that. He wasn't rigid like most network news anchors. He exuded warmth that made viewers feel as if he were sitting in their living room. In 3 years, he turned things around. People began returning. He combined tough news with celebrity interviews in a style that came across as fresh and effortless. NBC soon took notice. They made him substitute for such household names as Bryant Gumbel and Tom Brokaw. That level of faith wasn't generally extended to someone so new, but Lauer showed he was up to it. When he was promoted to co-anchor, his Q rating was through the roof. He wasn't merely popular. He was one of NBC's most bankable names. During those early years, Lauer established good relationships with his co-hosts. But it wasn't always smooth. Working with veterans such as Bryant Gumbel required learning how to share both on and off-camera space. Gumbel was considered controlling. He enjoyed beginning the show, hosting the major segments, and maintaining control over things. Lowe, 9 years younger, didn't battle it straight on. Rather, he employed humor and charm to win others over. With Katie Couric, it wasn't. Their rapport was natural. Couric later confessed she'd had a crush on Lauer when he was reporting the local news. On TV, their chemistry jumped off the screen in the mornings. They teased, they joked, and even completed each other's sentences. It was like a flirtation, but fans enjoyed it. The way they bantered made the show seem new. That relationship made Today feel less like a news show and more like a morning tradition. Lauer didn't only deal with the soft stuff. His talent really came through during big news stories. Prior to becoming co-anchor, he was already anchoring big national and international stories. NBC depended on him to do live coverage when it counted most. One of his first tests was during the April 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. It was a time when the lighthearted tone of the show needed to shift. Lauer was a part of that adjustment. He assisted in presenting